everyone, what's up? It is Kaylin here. Today we are going to talk about toxic positivity. This was a term that was really popular around social media back in 2019, but I still think it's really relevant to talk about because I think without realizing it, a lot of us are accidentally toxically positive when we don't want to be. So what is it? It's the concept of living life as good vibes only. So never really acknowledging those negative feelings, taking them, putting them in a box, and focusing only on positive emotions. While that is a popular definition that I came across, I also think we can have toxic positive tendencies where we are a little bit more inclined to ignore or disregard or reject the negative feelings of others and start saying things like, maybe just focus on the positive, or it'll get better. Those are things that don't necessarily help people when they're going through a difficult time. So how is it different from positivity? Because positivity is actually a really, really good thing, just not when it's toxic. So positivity in and of itself is the ability to see the silver lining in something or focus on some positive stuff when you are having a hard time because it's going to help you get through that hard time. That's when it's really valuable, when it's something that, helps us with hope and helps us get through something that's challenging or gives us strength. That is the kind of positivity that we want. And often that has to come from ourselves. It's an attitude, not a monochromatic way of life, the way toxic positivity generally comes across as. So why is toxic positivity toxic? Basically, going back to what I just said, it's a monochromatic way of life. It's a black and white way of looking at dealing with your feelings, or in the case of toxic positivity, not dealing with your feelings. It's harmful and toxic because it actually disvalues someone else. It disvalues their emotions, their feelings, their experiences, and their struggles. Or it does all of that to you because you're ignoring those emotions that are going on right now. The reality is nobody likes to feel difficult emotions, but the feelings that we call negative actually provide a lot of information for ourselves. And I think they're really important to listen to because it tells us a lot. Anger is a secondary emotion. Anger is the right response to wrong. It lets us know that our boundaries have been crossed. And so maybe that means we need to put some of our boundaries back in place, or we know that maybe somebody can't be trusted as much as we initially thought they could. For things like sadness or hurt, that lets us know that that is something that is uncomfortable or doesn't feel good. So what's the reaction? Obviously, you don't want that thing in your life, so aren't you going to try to make changes to not have that thing? I think it's worth listening to, because ignoring, stuffing, rejecting your negative feelings are actually just going to hit you like a tidal wave much later. When you repress feelings and you don't even acknowledge them, let's take a step back. Okay, don't even deal with them. Just acknowledge your feelings. That makes such a big difference in how you're feeling in general because you've given credibility to that. You've given yourself permission to be okay with those things. And then those feelings aren't ignored and they're not going to come back later like little gremlins that are just going to say terrible things to you when you're trying to go to bed and then you can't sleep. Also, toxic positivity is really damaging to your relationships with other people. Same kind of deal here, same pattern. You're going to hurt and undervalue the experiences of other people. And what that ends up telling other people is that you are not a safe person to connect with, or you are not capable of connecting with them when they are struggling through something. And connection is a vital human experience. It's something that we need and we crave, that sense of belonging and being with, somebody who understands us or somebody who has the same ideas as us. It is so important. And toxic positivity shutting down connection is what really drives some people apart. Honestly, if I came across a person who was very rigorously good vibes only, I'll be like, cool, I'm gonna go take my good vab and meh vibes and go over there. What we really want as people, as individuals, as humans, as people who want to connect with other people, we want to be heard. We want to be acknowledged and valued. And toxic positivity doesn't do that. If you're not able to support me or be with me when I'm struggling with something and you're going to tell me that my feelings are not allowed in your space, then I don't want to be around you. And I think that's something instinctually we end up feeling, where you kind of get some vibes about somebody and you're like, oh, there's something going on there and it doesn't make me very comfortable, but I'm not really sure what it is. That's something that we give off when we fall into an accidental pattern of toxic positivity. If you can't support me and can't be with me, I don't really want to be around you, or I don't trust you enough anymore to share those feelings with you. If you tell me, yeah, it sucks, I went through a similar experience, what you're going through is terrible, that's what I want to hear. That's when you're supporting me. Thank you for saying those things, but I'm sad, so go get me a cupcake or something, right? If you've never heard of Brynn Brown, I'm going to bring her up now in this moment. She has her PhD in social work. She has researched shame and vulnerability for many, many years. And one of the things that she has come across, I think, in her research is something that's really relevant to this topic. If you numb one feeling or you numb a group of feelings, you numb them all. If you're going to try and numb feeling sadness or hurt or shame, you're also going to numb your ability to feel joy and happiness and elation and things like that. So that's another reason to kind of avoid toxic positivity, because even if you're trying to live a life of good vibes only, you're not going to have those good vibes only because you're not accepting the reality of, your true human experience, which is to feel the good, the bad, the meh. You need to value that about yourself as well, because you are worth valuing. Your feelings are valuable. What you're going through is valuable. Your experiences are valuable. You should have those recognized and acknowledged. Shutting down someone else's pain or your own pain with a protection mechanism of positive vibes only tells me a lot. It would tell me that you're not comfortable or you don't have the skills to deal with positive or negative emotions. I do actually mean negative in that sense, but if you're struggling to, be with someone in their dark night of the soul or with yourself and you're shutting those things down, I get a lot of information about how you're doing emotionally and probably that you're not so safe. And that's something you should really be working on for yourself, because it's really important to value yourself and your experiences and how you're doing. It may initially make you feel better to kind of have something to focus on, like focusing on the positive and the happiness and all of that. But very quickly, you're going to roll over into a lot of, you're spending a lot of energy stuffing your negative emotions, not letting them out. They are going to come back to get you. That is fact. That is how it works. We are human. We have psychological tendencies. They will come and get you. Get your gremlins before they get you. So if you want a little bit more information on toxic positivity and maybe how not to do it, or to get some information on whether or not you do have toxic positive tendencies, I'm guilty of it. I've definitely had moments where I'm like, oh, I'm having a bad day and I don't want to deal with somebody else's bad vibes. And I'm kind of like, oh, I don't know how to support you right now. And I don't really want to. It's hard, but it's possible. And I think that with awareness and with knowing ourselves, then we can be capable of being very much with ourselves or with other people when we are struggling or when they are struggling and they really need some support. Check out down below. I will post a bunch of links of where I did my research on this and some articles and stuff that might be a good read if you want to know how to kind of avoid toxic positivity or do a little bit more research or read a little bit more in depth on toxic positivity and how that affects your feelings and how they sit in your body or hang out with you if you're ignoring them. Thank you so much for tuning in. Feel free to leave a comment below so we can start a discussion about something like this. Hit like, hit subscribe. Let me know if there's anything that you would love to see me talk about, because I am more than happy to start exploring other topics that might be curious to other people. Until then, see you next time. Thanks so much.